This is the bracelet we're going to make, and this one turned out a little bit shorter than this one because the focal was longer, so I did less of the components. But basically this is 7 and 7.5 inches long, and it's really pretty on. Nice contrasts in colors and in finishes, shiny versus matte. This one is pretty much all shiny, but it's also really pretty. So let's get started. For this project, for this bracelet, we're going to need a focal point bead. So basically a bead that is about 1 inch or a little less or a little more long. And that can inspire the rest of the colors for what we'll need. We're going to need super duos, 15 beads, seed beads, and 3 colors of 11 toho beads. I like to have the 15 the same color as one of the 11O colors. And I also like to have one of the colors kind of close to what the super duos are. So that's kind of my color scheme here. You could technically use all the same color for the seed beads, but it kind of brings a nice variation to change it up. And then we're also going to just need 2 6 or 8 seed beads for the ends so that we can hook in the clasp with jump rings. All right, so let's get started. Okay, I'm going to start with a stop bead. Then I'm going to string on a 6 or 8 seed bead followed by 7 11Os. String that on. And then I can go back through those beads to form a loop. Okay, now that it's a loop, I can remove the stop bead and tie a knot. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to go through the 6 or 8 seed bead. This is an 8 for me, and the next 2 11Os. Now I want to put on a super duo, and I want to go through the other hole of the seed bead, skip 1, and go through the next 11O. And I'll repeat that, string on another super duo, and I want to go through the other hole, skip a seed bead, and go through the next 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do is skip the next 6 or 8 bead there and go through the next 2. I'm skipping that because I want it to kind of pop out a little bit. Tighten it, so now I'll be able to put a jump ring in there later. So I'm going to go through 2 more seed beads and the super duo. Now I'm going to string on a blue seed bead, a super duo, a gold 11O, another super duo, and a blue 11O. Now I've got that on there. I'm going to go through the super duo and seed bead. To form a loop. want to follow it all the way back around to the seed bead on the other end, the gold seed bead on the other end. And through that seed bead. Now I want to put on alternating gold 15 and 11/0 seed beads, so I have a total of 7 of them. Okay, so there I have alternating, starting and ending with a 15. Now I want to go back through this gold seed bead and through the super duo. I want to go back through the other hole, skip a seed bead, go through, catch the 11 right there. I'll throw on another seed bead, or a super duo. Go through the other hole, skip the 15, go through the next 11. String on another super duo. And skip the 15, go through the next 11 out, and then out through this seed bead. And when I pull it tight, I should see kind of a diamond in the middle here. So now I'm going to go back through the super duo and the seed bead. And then I want to go all the way back around all these seed beads and come out this super duo. So I want to go all the way around. Now what I want to do is repeat what I did here. So I'm going to put on a blue seed bead, a super duo, a gold seed bead, another super duo, and end with a blue seed bead. Now that I've got that on there, I want to go through seed bead, the super duo and seed bead, and I want to continue to follow it all the way around to the seed bead. So go through the super duo, so I want to repeat what I did here, and I want to string on alternating 15s and 11s, 7 of them, starting with 15. And I want to go through the seed bead and the super duo. Now I want to go back through the super duo's other hole, skip a bead, and go through the 11. I'm going to put on another super duo, go through the other hole, skip the 15, go through the next 11. And throw on another super duo. I want to go through the other hole of the super duo and skip the 15 and go through the next 11 and out through that super duo. I've built a nice little diamond there. I'm going to go through this super duo and seed bead. And I want to go back all the way through and out this super duo. I'll go through all the seed beads in the middle there. Okay, now I'm going to repeat what I've done here with the blue seed beads. So put on a blue seed bead, a super duo, gold seed bead, a super duo, and another blue one. So now that I've got that on, I'm going to go through the other super duo and seed bead. Back around. So we want to continue this pattern for between 2.5 to 3 inches, depending on how big of a bracelet you want. We want to end with this component before we put on the center of the bracelet, that large bead. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. Okay, I've made so this is about 2 3/4 inches, and since my focal point is a little larger than an inch and I'm wanting a smaller bracelet, this will be okay. Normally I'd probably want to go to 3 for an inch size focal point. So now that I have that, I'm going to put on the focal point. We are at the middle. So I'm going to put one seed bead and the big bead, 3 more seed beads, okay, now I'm going to go back through the big bead, and I'll put one more seed bead on and go through these 2 seed beads. Now I'll go to the other side, go back through the large seed bead. And either this side or that side, it doesn't matter. Go through that first seed bead, put on a super duo, go back through the other hole of the super duo into the middle seed bead, put on another super duo, go through the other hole and through that third seed bead, and go back through the big seed bead, or the big center bead. Okay, so now that I'm coming, I need to go through this seed bead. Actually, it could be the other side, it doesn't matter. And then I'll go through this super duo. Oops, it's going around. Okay. Through the seed bead and super duo. And I'll go through this other hole and through the top seed bead or the middle seed bead. And then I'll go through this hole, the bottom hole of the super duo. And then I can go through the other hole, outer hole, and through that seed bead. Now I can go back through the center seed bead and there we go. And now we can go through this middle seed bead and super duo. Okay, so we've got the start of the next half of the bracelet. So I'm going to start by putting on a blue seed bead, a super duo, a gold seed bead, super duo, and a blue. And I've got that on. I'm going to go through super duo and seed bead. And I want to go around, keep going around till I'm at the going through the gold seed bead. Okay, so now I'm just going to repeat what I did over here. I'm going to put on alternating 15 and 11 seed beads, starting with 15 until I've got 7 of them, starting and ending with a 15. So I've got that threaded on. I'm going to go back through seed bead and super duo. And go back through the other hole super duo, skip a 15 and go through the next 11. String on a super duo, go through the other hole, pick up the next 11, thread on a super duo, go through the other hole, pick up the 11, and through the other super duo. I'm going to go through this other hole, super duo, and through a seed bead. And I'm going to go through all the seed beads till I'm at the other side. sometimes just one at a time. Till I can come out this super duo on the end. All right. So I'm just going to repeat those two components till they're the same number of them as on this side, so it's even. And I should end with the X, which is this component here. So I've run out of thread, so just to show you how I continue thread, this is using Fireline, but this also works with Wildfire as long as it's a bonded thread. It should work. So after I tie a square knot into the two ends, I take a lighter. This one's a torch style lighter, but it really can be any lighter. Touch it, touch it. So I can feel a little ball on the end of each of these. And so when I straighten it out, there's no ends hanging. You just got this little ball that needs to go through. So I will continue with my components. Okay, so I have finished the other side to the same length as the other side, and so now I'm going to string on 3 11-ohs, 1 6 or 8 seed bead, and then 3 more 11-ohs. And I want to go through that gold seed bead the same way I'm coming out of it, and go through this super duo. I'll go through the other side of the super duo, skip a seed bead, go through the next 2. Okay, and this is where I'll want to go pop this one out a little bit, the big seed bead. That's the one the jump ring will go through. Skip it and go through the next 2 and through the super duo. Okay, and so now I'm ready to start the kind of the embellishment row around the sides. And so I'll put on 3 blues, 1 copper, and string those on. I want to go through the last blue one to create like a little corner with a copper at the tip. And I'll put 2 more blues on. And go through the next super duo seed bead and super duo. So go through the super duo and seed bead. Pull that through. Go through. Make sure we're coming out of the super duo for the next one. And I'll string on 3 blue ones and 1 copper. String those on. I want to go through the last blue one, back through it, the opposite way, and pull that tight to create a corner there. And then I'll put 2 blues on to finish it. And go through the super duo and seed. continue through the super duo to do the next one. I've got 2 of those on there. I'm just going to continue until I get to the center component. Okay, so I am on my last one and I've strung on 2. So this time I'm going to go through the super duo and seed bead. Then I can go through the center component. And I can go through this seed bead and super duo. So now I can continue the embellishment up this side. Okay, and I'm ready to do the last embellishment on this side of the bracelet. So I'll put on 3 blues and a copper 11/0 seed bead. String that through. Go back through the last blue seed bead. And finish off with 2 more blue 11/0 seed beads. This time I'm going to go through the super duo and through the next 2 11/0 seed beads before the 6/0 or 8/0. And here we go. We can either go through this one or skip it. It doesn't matter. We're just following it around so we can start the embellishments on the other side. So I'm going to go through these 2 seed beads. And through the super duo. And once I'm through the super duo, I can start the embellishment on this side. So I can put on 3 blues and a copper. String that on. And I can go through back through the last blue one. And finish that one off with 2 blue seed beads going through the super duo and seed bead. And coming back out through the super duo. And I'll repeat that all the way to the center bead. And now I'm on the last one before the center component. So I'll put on 3 blues and a copper seed bead 11/0. Go back through the last blue one. Add 2 blue seed beads. And this time I go through the super duo and the seed bead. just like I did before. Go through the center. And sometimes it's twist around, but that's okay. It's the same no matter what. So this time I want to go through the seed bead for the side that's not done yet. So I want to go through this seed bead and this super duo. So now I can start embellishing this side. So I'll put on 3 blues and a copper. String that on. Go back through the last blue one. And finish it up with 2 blues. Going through super duo and seed bead. And out through the super duo. And I'll continue that to the end of the bracelet. So I'm on my last one, putting on 3 blues and a copper, 11 seed bead, going back through the last, so if you ever run into this, you just hold the end and pull and it'll tighten. And then finish off with 2 blue seed beads, and I want to go through the super duo and the next 2 gold seed beads. At this point, the bracelet is done. And you can see here, it's really nice. And we are going to finish it off, what you normally do is just weave back through a little bit, make some turns before you tie the knot. That just makes it a little more secure. So, so I'm going to go weave it back through here. I've gone all the way through here. So made enough turns, I think, to where I can put a knot in here. So I just kind of go under where the thread is going, in between those beads, till I have a loop here. Go through it once and twice through that loop. Then I can pull it tight. And I can snip that off. So this is our finished bracelet. It's ended up being about 6 3/4 inches long, and it'll, with the clasp, it'll probably be around 7, so that's perfect. How we put on the clasp is pretty simple. We just use, I have a jump ring here, find the edge, and I open it. Now you can see the jump ring is open, and then I just feed it through the bead. And I can close that one, or I can make this one the one that has also putting the clasp on before I close it. It's just a regular lobster claw clasp, and then I close it. That's one end, and the other end you just put the jump ring through. We'll first open it, find the end, open it, feed it through the bead, and close it. So now, this is our finished bracelet that we can clasp on. And that's our finished bracelet.